You just kissed yourself a princess.
And I'm about to do it again.
In the year of 2009, Disney released a film that can be seen as underrated and personally one of my favorite Disney films called Princess and the Frog, also known as... I don't really see a lot of people talk about this film, so why not make a video about it? So without further ado, what is Princess and the Frog about? The movie opens up with the main character, Tiana, and her best friend Charlotte, who is really spoiled. And when I mean spoiled, she is the definition of it.
A sugar plum. I want that one! Please. Eudora!
Yeah, my prince is never coming.
Now lie.
I'll never get anything I wish.
Listening to Tiana's mom reading the title of this film, Princess and the Frog, while making Charlotte's outfit. And if you're not aware, Charlotte's family, specifically her dad, is really rich because he's the king, whereas Tiana and her family are not. And if you're wondering what time period this movie is set in, it's set during the 1920s in New Orleans. Jumping back to the story, Tiana says something that will foreshadow her actions later in the film.
There is no way in this whole wide world I would ever, I mean never, kiss a frog.
Are you sure about that?
We jump to Tiana and her mom returning home as Tiana's dad is back from work, and we get to see what Tiana really likes to do, which is cooking. And she's so good at it that the whole neighborhood is enjoying her food. Later that day, Tiana spent some time with her family and her dad gave her advice to never give up like every film does. I know this is not relevant in the film at all or in the story, but how is this crown not falling off her head? It's literally stuck on her even when she's jumping. A couple of years later, and now Tiana is a woman. Her goal in life is to open her own restaurants, so she saved a lot of money for it. The title card of this movie shows up and we cut to Tiana showing her daily routine like not having enough time to sleep, traveling to work, being a waitress. And all I can say is that this food looks delicious, especially this one, which is called
Vignette.
Then we get introduced to the main villain in the film, but the film doesn't mention his name yet. The only thing you have to know about him is that he scams his customers, he does voodoo stuff, and he is broke. Then we get introduced to this fine character, Prince Naveen, and the only thing you have to know about him is that he is rich, but his parents took all his money. He's handsome, loves music, specifically jazz. He is spoiled and very self-centered. He also has a butler called Lawrence, and you don't really have to know a lot about him yet. We cut to Tiana speaking with her friends from her neighborhood and they invited her to go out with them tonight, but Tiana declines the invitation as she is working a double shift in order to save money for her restaurant. And her friends' reactions were like this, specifically her. Tiana feels bad and instead of the chef cheering her up or even supporting her, he just said, "You're not getting your own restaurant anytime soon."
Never gonna get enough for the down payment.
I'm getting close.
Yeah. How close?
Where are my flapjacks?
You got about as much chance of getting that restaurant as I do of winning the Kentucky Derby. Woo-hoo! Saddle me up, y'all. It's post time.
Charlotte's dad, whose name that I can't pronounce, shows up, and then later Charlotte also shows up, but with exciting news. Her father tried to explain that he invited Prince Naveen to the masquerade ball and that he is staying with them.
Tell her, Big Daddy.
Oh, yeah, Prince Naveen.
Prince Naveen of Meldonia is coming to New Orleans. Oh, isn't he the bee's knee?
But Charlotte keeps interrupting him. He was so tired of her that he stuffed food into her mouth. Charlotte took a stack of cash from her dad's wallet without his permission and gave it to Tiana to make her famous
Vignette
so they can serve it in the ball. And the money that Charlotte gave Tiana helped her to pay for her restaurant. And the chef was like... And I can't lie, even though Charlotte is really spoiled, she's actually a good friend. We cut to Tiana looking at her future restaurant with her mum, and the mum's reaction was like... Then the film gives you a good message about working hard. And all I'm saying is that this song, the person who sang the song, the art is perfect. We cut to the butler looking for Prince Naveen while carrying his things. He found him performing in front of a crowd with other musicians. Most of the girls love him, even the audience. Not the butler though, Prince Naveen. Lawrence mentioned that he was looking for him everywhere and Naveen gave him the most honest response.
I've been looking for you everywhere. Oh, what a coincidence, Lawrence. I have been avoiding you everywhere.
The butler mentions that they were going to be late for the ball and Prince Naveen couldn't care any less. He only cares about jazz, and he is too kind to buy everyone a drink, even though he has no money. Dr. Fusilia, also known as the Shadow Man, shows up and invites Prince Naveen and Lawrence to a card reading. The reason he is called the Shadow Man is because his shadow does his own thing, I think. They walk through a dark alley, and I'm surprised that Prince Naveen was not afraid at all. They, specifically the Shadow Man, thinks he has friends in the other side, and this is a good sign for them to run away. But he was enjoying the song, so this part is when he knew he messed up. Prince Naveen started to transform into something that we don't know yet, but is obvious we already know. The way the song ended scared me when I was young, but at the same time it was
Perfect.
Now it's time for the masquerade ball. Everyone is dressed in their favourite costume. When you enter the ball, you can smell money, and I know that this guy is dying inside. Shadow complains that Prince Naveen isn't coming and throws a big tantrum. But as soon as Naveen arrives, she instantly fixes her makeup, without a mirror by the way, and ran downstairs with high heels on and danced with him. Tiana heard the bad news from these two nitwits, which resulted to her being upset. And instead of them refunding the money or telling her earlier, they were just racist towards her.
Which is why a little woman of your background would have had her hands full trying to run a big business like that. You know, you're better off where you at.
She ended up on the floor and her outfit was a mess. Then we see the iconic dress that is slapped on the cover, and if you didn't know, this dress belongs to Charlotte. She was still upset about the restaurant that she started to wish upon a star, and instead of getting what she wanted, she got a frog. And this isn't an ordinary frog, it's a frog that can speak.
So what now? I reckon you want a kiss?
Kissing would be nice, yes?
And this made Tiana so frightened that she accidentally hit herself. The frog reveals to her that he is the prince, and Tiana was not buying it. She started to get confused and questions if you're the prince, who is that person on the dance floor? After the frog version of Naveen reads the frog prince, he got an idea that Tiana should kiss him to break the curse. She refuses at first because if you remember,
Way in this whole wide world, I would ever, I mean never, kiss a frog.
then she actually kissed him, and this did not age well at all. And also I forgot to mention that in the scene, the prince was just talking and also flexing about himself.
Guarantee. All women enjoy the kiss of Prince Naveen. Come, we pack her.
Just kiss me. Look, besides being unbelievably handsome, okay, I also happen to come from a fabulously wealthy family.
After the kiss, Tiana turns into a frog, and she was not happy about it. And instead of the prince saying that he's sorry, he just said,
That is not slime!
What?
You are secreting mucus.
They started fighting and they ended up ruining the ball and flew away. The Shadow Man witnessed this and blamed this Prince Naveen, and we find out that the imposter is actually Lawrence. And whenever he takes this necklace off, he transforms back to his original self. We cut to Tiana and Naveen being chased and attacked by alligators, and while this is happening, Naveen promised Tiana that once they transform back to humans, he will buy her a restaurant. The next day, Naveen is being his usual self and Tiana is doing all the work. Both of them are being chased into a nearby bayou where they meet an alligator who loves jazz named Lewis. When they explain what happened to them, he tells them of Mama Odie, another voodoo practitioner who lives in the same area. Naveen convinces Lewis to take him and Tiana to see her, so he can ask her to turn him into a human as well to accomplish his dream of being a professional jazz musician.
I am Naveen, Prince of Maldonia, and she is Tiana, the waitress.
Do not kiss her.
Then we cut to another song.
I'm human, and I'm gonna be.
Since Lewis does not know the way to Mama Odie, a firefly named Ray helps them. And if you didn't know, Ray is dating a star.
Right up there in front of y'all.
Stop it. Get some help.
During the journey, Tiana and Naveen begins developing feelings for each other, especially after the scene. Then we cut to another song.
Je t'adore.
I adore you.
Je t'aime.
I love you.
Evangeline.
Just translating.
While all of this is happening, the talisman containing Naveen's blood runs out, which is basically the necklace. The Shadow Man asks his friends on the other side to help retrieve Naveen, and they grant him an army of shadow demons to help him. The demons discover Tiana and her group, and Mama Odie rescues them. Mama Odie mentions to Naveen that the spell can only be broken with a princess's kiss. Tiana realizes that since Charlotte's dad has been crowned Mardi Gras King, and if you don't know what that is, it's a French word for Fat Tuesday. It's basically reflecting the practice of the last night of consuming rich fatty foods in preparation for the Christian fasting season of Lent. In other words, Charlotte will be princess until midnight. The group hitches a ride on a boat back to New Orleans, during which Naveen tells Ray about his love for Tiana, and he also plans to propose to her. After talking to Tiana, Naveen changes decision and decides not to propose to her. Why? Because changing him and Tiana into humans and financing Tiana's restaurant require him to kiss and marry Charlotte, which he doesn't want to do. Next thing you know, the shadow demons capture Naveen and brings him back to Dr. Facilia to replenish the necklace with Naveen's blood. After Ray tells Tiana of Naveen's love for her, Tiana heads to the parade to find Naveen, only to see the disguised Lawrence marrying Charlotte, which made her upset. Ray rescues the real Naveen, steals the necklace and gives it to Tiana before the Shadow Man hurts him. The Shadow Man out of nowhere offers to make Tiana's dream come true in exchange for the necklace. Tiana almost accepts the offer, but after realizing that she would be dishonoring her father by accepting it, Tiana destroys the necklace. With the Shadow Man's plan failed, the voodoo spirits drag him into the world for failing to pay back his debt, which I never knew he even had. After Lawrence is arrested, Tiana confessed her feelings to Naveen. Charlotte is moved by this and agrees to kiss Naveen so he and Tiana can be humans again. But as the clock strikes midnight, Charlotte is no longer a princess, so Tiana and Naveen remain frogs. In the aftermath of fighting a Shadow Man, Ray dies shortly and reincarnated as a star. Tiana and Naveen are married by Mama Odie, making Tiana a princess. After Tiana and Naveen kissed each other, they both returned to their human forms.
You became my wife. That made you...
A princess. You just kissed yourself a princess.
And I'm about to do it again.
In the remaining minutes in the film, they later returned to New Orleans to legally marry, and Tiana paid for her restaurants with Naveen and Lewis's help. Naveen and Tiana fixed the restaurant and finally opened it. Everyone is happy and Tiana and Naveen are dancing. And I forgot to mention that Tiana is 19 years old when she opened her restaurant and Naveen is 21. And this is Princess and the Frog.